Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. That's pretty good. My sound's all right and everything, right? Right. Shafts, okay. Yep, just pulling that. No idea who Lee Kane is. Yeah, it's just a name I haven't seen before. Yep, Hutsky and yep. Oh, Mark Murphy's racing. Our very own. I'm sure you're gonna make some hay with him, and I'll jump around top of him. We race Elite together, so obviously we're not racing tonight, so he's here. But we just got the Indy 500. God, I don't know when the date is. Let's see. We're qualifying during the week. It's like a weekly qualifying, so it's not going to hinder a Sunday night. But the last race is the 500. Yep. Do you have the? Can you go live on Discord? Just so if we look at incidents, I can click on the broadcast on your screen or something like that. We can talk about them together. The Gael for the Area 51, which is helpful because we can kind of talk through stuff together. Yeah, just so we're like super live. May 5th, by the way, that's the 500, so I could do every other race, but May 5th. Go for it.
Welcome, race fans. This is Paul Page, the voice of IndyCars. And today we're excited to present another IndyCar event brought to you by the Dark Horse IndyCar Series. From the Unzers to Mears, Foyt, and Andretti, now it's Corley, Peterson, Davies, Gardner, and team. You can expect high speeds, incredible wheel-to-wheel action, and intense drama that you can only get in an IndyCar. So sit back and enjoy your favorite drivers from all over the world take the track. Dark Horse IndyCar drivers, start your engine.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Gary Gazzo. Welcome to RaceVerse coverage of Round 6 of Season 7 of the Dark Horse DW12 series, coming to you from Gateway. Joining me back in the booth is our regular driver expert, Catalyst Andrew Wood's been doing some time in some other series, but he's back in his primary seat here with me. Hey, you have driven many times here, many times at Gateway. It is not an easy track. A lot of people, it's just one of those tracks where a lot of people love to hate it. But when it rewards you, it typically rewards you big. Why does this track really have to emphasize the driver side of your skill set rather than just your pure outright speed side of your skill set?
Yeah, Gary, great to be back with you, and I'm very excited that we're at Gateway tonight. To answer your question, you have a lot of people who really want to race different lines here. You have a line where you can race on the outside to go and get some more momentum going to the backside of the track, or you can try and hope that everybody takes that high line, and you could try and go low and use the banking more for the exit of turn 1 and 2 I'm talking about. So it's such a wide range of possibility here, and it takes drivers quite a bit of time to figure out what everyone else is doing around them to get the best advantage possible.
Here's the rule set for tonight. We got 30 seconds left to play. Matty Wagner on the pole with a 184.043 miles per hour. Rafi Eckert right behind him with a 183.8. Forsyth, our last week's winner, 183.6. And actually, if he gets another win tonight, he'll be in the top 4 of all-time DW12 wins here in the Dark Horse Series. The rule set for tonight, 80% fuel, unlimited tires, still the one fast repair. Pit road speeds 45 miles per hour. Reminder, this is a 1.25-mile egg-shaped speedway. So we're doing 150 laps, which totals 187.5 miles. We are done with qualifying, and let's get together and put together a starting lineup here. As everyone loads in, let me cue up that music. On the pole. It looks like our overlay is broken again. All right, I'm going to have to work on that with our dev. He gave me a new version today. Let's try this again. Nope, not working.
Well, I can kick off the first couple of rows.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get the first couple rows in.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Matty Wagner on the pole, Rafi Eckert P2, Craig Forsyth, and Charles Teed on row 2 there. Edson Santos, Jared Brubacher, row 3. Mark Murphy, Eric Peterson right there on row 4. Mark Cohn and Gary Lovern on row 5, Jimmy Herrick and Casey Pahutsky on row 6, Lee Kane and Eric Schaus, who's going to come deep from the field there in row 7, AJ Hobson. Of course, you can't have an IndyCar race without AJ in the lineup, and Iker Pagero back in row 8, and Stouffer and Adams coming back, or actually Stouffer coming way from the back, and I believe this might be a penalty from the last race. I'll have to double check that, the penalty sheet, but 17th and 18th is Stouffer and Adams, and that takes up row 9.
We're getting ready to go green here shortly. The pace car is going to roll in about 10 or so seconds, but yeah, at the start of this race, you have the guys on the inside that are trying to make some sort of advantage for the guys that want to take that high outside line with a lot of momentum and everything going for the outside. But if you can get a jump on the guys that are to your right, you could find a little hole to get into and try and run that outside line as well. Everyone's a little bit slower going into turn 1, just being on the green flag, going straight from the pace lap and everything. So the first corners are always a little bit chaotic here, making sure you don't ride up the hill on the exit to potentially ruin someone's momentum that's already on the outside.
Yeah, I just put up the overlay one more time for the starting lineup just so I can take some screenshots after the fact for Dev. Dev gave me an update today. We haven't got a chance to test it, but it is a work in progress, and it's a way better version of what we were using before. But we are underway for our pace lap of a scheduled 150 lap race. Really quickly, and I'll get to part of it here, and the other part of it during the race. The kart track record when kart race here, Here's a name we don't talk about very often. Raul Boisel, back in 1997 at the speed of 187.963. The IndyCar IRL track record, to no one's surprise, is willpower, set in 2020 at the speed of 192.384. Not quite that fast here in the DW12s, but it's going to be a very entertaining race nevertheless. We will get into the rest of the IndyCar records here later into the race. Getting ready to go green, coming off of corner number 4. The course is now, or the field is now under the command of Matty Wagner, coming to the green.
Yeah, very slow start for some of these guys in the second. As you see, we're going 4 wide for about 3rd place here. There was a little bit of a slow start from the leaders, but let's just fan it out from here and try and find the best move.
Yeah, Brubacher, he got freight trained. Somebody got stuck up top there. He might actually hit the wall, but he is getting past big time. Now 3 wide with Brubacher on the high side. Murphy in the middle, almost had the watchman Mark Cohn there, right there with him, as Murphy's starting to blink a little bit. And we survived lap 1 with no cautions. That is a good start.
Yeah, it looked like there was a little bit of uncertainty of what lines people were going to take at the exit of turn 2, so it got a little bit messy. It just kind of accordioned its way back right into the middle part of the pack. But as you see, we have a move for 2nd place here.
Oh, Lee Kane is down and out, unfortunately. He was a little worried about his performance here, and, well, he made it 1 lap, I think. It's okay. A lot of people don't like this track. Matt Wagner out to an 0.8 of a second lead, followed by Charlie Teed is settled into 2nd. Battle of teammates here. Leaner Energy cars and 3rd and 4th. They're battling out.
Yeah, we have Lee Kane's incident there at the exit of turn 2. It looks like he kind of couldn't decide how much space he can give A.J. Hobson on the outside, and it just kind of swatted him to the left, so that's the end of Lee Kane's night.
Move Edson Santos up to 3rd. Now Rafi Eckert. Oh, Santos going to pit road. Do we have a penalty?
It's a bit of a strange situation there. It could be an early strategy call, but I would imagine not. I imagine there's some black flag that happened on the first lap there. As we saw, the cars took very slow to get to the line. Cars were trying to move, and that just brings about any sort of penalty that you could possibly get. So I wonder if this is a server-driven penalty here.
Well, he's coming down to get service anyways, and then we'll probably be looking at a bit of a 40-second hold. Interesting. And Lee Kane's back underway, and Edson takes back off. So not much of a hold at all. Maybe had some damage that had to be repaired that we could have physically see on the car. So interesting. Back up to the front here. Matty Wagner still your leader. Teed 2nd, Eckert 3rd. Now on the tree, and we'll see that purple number moving there. We'll see 1st through 10. And then there's a white line. And if we had more than 20 cars, at actually the second portion of the ticker would cycle through the remainder of the field. So that's what the white line is there for. However, since we only have 18 cars, only the 18 will show up. But there's the number. Right now, it's currently held by Forsyth. You see the little purple number next to his name. That means he has the purple lap. So that's our way of tracking the purple lap as the race progresses. Craig Forsyth with that lap. There's Craig right there, last week's winner.
We have a caution.
Okay.
Trying to find it, actually. I can't figure out exactly what happened.
I see Edson Santos is the only one out. Let me go back in time and see possibly. Oh, well, here. I think I know what happened. I think he came to a stop on the race course. He might have had a mechanical or something.
Yeah, I can't explain that one, Gary. That one's kind of a strange situation. He exited the pit road and managed to just come to a complete stop on the track. So I'm not really sure what the reasoning for that is.
Yeah, I might have had a mechanical with his computer or something. Running in VR and it goes blank on you, and you control your car enough to bring it to the inside and pull it to a stop. But yeah, kind of strange. But we are now, cars already going to take advantage of stopping on pit road here. With 80% fuel, we're probably looking at, 30-ish, 30, 35 laps for a tank.
I think it's probably more towards the 45 range.
Okay.
At a track like this. I think you can go about 40, 45 on a nice fuel save, which is very difficult to do around here because this place is a glorified super speedway. No matter what we look at. But one thing I also want to point out is keep an eye on the pit stops, because on the pit entry, it seems that when you pass the cars that are on the outside or on the track still, it's very easy to pick up a penalty here.
Yes.
And it seems to be a little bit of a hard time for people to try and gauge exactly where they are on the access road. So, yeah, it looks like hopefully everyone's made their way cleanly into this pit stop rotation. I think everyone has. I was trying to monitor it, and it seemed like everything was all right, but it's something to look out for as the night goes on. People try to get any sort of advantage they can, and next thing they know, they find themselves penalized.
Yeah, this track and Homestead are two of the tracks.
Another one.
Yeah, that you can. It's not a bug, but you got to be cognizant of it. That while you're on the pit access road, that you can't pass the car in front, or you can pass, but by the time you get to the cone, you need to let that other car back by. I think is what it is, and I could be wrong there. And if I am, let me know. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on there. Is it's just a weird iRacing thing. Some leagues will loosely police it and just say, hey, we'll clear your black flags. We know it's an accident. Other leagues, if you get a black flag, that's it.
You know, let's go back to the reason for the caution here. It seems the drivers are talking about that number 20 car, Edson Santos. So I think there was a little bit of a miscommunication on the start of the race. Some cars did not actually take the green flag there when they were supposed to, and that's what brought that 4-wide situation going into turn 1. So I think there was a little bit of confusion. A penalty was handed out to Edson. And after that, it's all history. Whatever happened from there, it seems that he exited the pits and decided that it wasn't time to continue. So that's why we're under caution. No damaged cars, no nothing. The only damaged car we had was Lee Kane there on the first couple of laps. So we'll continue on, and we're going to go green here very shortly.
We'll take a look at the points really quickly. Here is I don't think that is the points, is it? Yeah, it is actually. Okay, so yeah, that is the points. I'm showing that after Michigan, so that's coming into this race. Eric Schaus has a 20-point lead over Matt Wagner. Then Christopher P3 with the 193. There's a bit of a fall off. Then the JB 165. Then another bit of a fall off to Edson Santos, who's going to lose some ground to Charles Teed here and Craig Forsyth tonight, just kind of by virtue of kind of going to finish this race higher than Edson. Edson at 148, Teed at 147, Forsyth at 145. Again, a bit of a fall off to Peterson at 129. Swinson not in tonight's lineup, I don't believe, at 117, and Pahutsky also, he is in tonight's lineup at the top 10 there in the 105. So that is your top 10 as I move the graphic around. And we're coming back to racing as all the cars are up against the wall. Lights are off on the pace car, and we're going to go back to racing here really, really soon.
Yep, we have both Mark Cohn and Gary Lovern up 5 spots. We have Eric Schaus up 8 spots, so let's see what happens on this restart here. Oh, big dive there for Forsyth.
Yeah, watching that one.
And it's 3 wide behind him.
Oh, this is going to get tight, boys. We got 2 of the 4D cars back there. Yay, JB to the inside. He wanted to float up a little bit. Stouffer was there. Couldn't go too much farther. But they're going to be side by side down the front stretch, even at the line. Stouffer and JB. Right also in this battle is Peterson.
Yeah,
there's contact.
Turns.
There it is. And 3 cars involved. Peterson is in the infield.
Over the infield.
And JB is involved as well.
Yeah, this is what I was mentioning right off the start here. You got the guys that try and take that lower line and try and be a hero down below, but you have to climb the hill, and unfortunately, if the car is there, it there's always going to be some sort of contact unless there's a little bit more room given for the outside. So that's exactly the example that I was trying to give early on.
Well, here's the replay of that incident. And it might have been some netcode involved. Of course, netcode is one of our constant pains we have in this car. And there you see right there, very little impact, if anything, contact. And that caused 3 cars then to go flying. Peterson doing a barrel roll into the infield.
Yeah, I think what you saw there was Craig took a optimal line out of the corner, which gave Yari a little bit of dirty air, which pushed him up into Stouffer. And unfortunately, Eric had nowhere to go there and cartwheeled into the infield. Just a very unfortunate turn of events there that Yari wasn't able to hold the line that he had really hoped to hold. As you see right in the replay there, Craig is giving Yari all the dirty air, and around goes Stouffer.
And then check this. Whoa.
That's a wild ride.
Whoa.
Won't need to travel very far to the in-care center there.
No, or to grab a drink from one of the RVs back there. Grab a chicken wing and a drink on your way to the...
Yeah, that's that's one of those, hey, I'm out of the race. Can you throw me a quick Miller Lite there?
Well, he'll be able to get the fast repair. And already, 16 laps into this race, and a number of fast repairs have been used. Peterson, has, because of his position, probably had to get towed. But Stouffer was still rolling, and he gets the snap-together parts to put his car back in mint condition. He kind of rolls back and rejoins the field here in 14th. I think Brubacher's going to have much the same, but unfortunately Peterson, like I said, is going to be towed, so he'll be back there in 6th, probably go down a lap or 2. So another yellow here early, and kind of a very light tap from Yari's right front wing on the rear bumper pod there of Stouffer, sending cars around, and poor old Peterson was kind of very innocent, collected in that one.
So now we look at the highest climbers of the field, the guys that have stayed out of trouble. We got Gary Laverne up 5 spots. We have Eric Schaus and AJ Hobson both up 8 spots from their starting spots. So those guys have stayed out of trouble. They find themselves some good track position, and they're on the same strategy as the guys around them. So far, the top 7 have not stopped, and including Iker Peguero, who is in 10th. Beyond that, the rest of the field has at least stopped one time, whether it be for a fast repair or a pit stop. We are coming back to, nope, not coming back to green this lap. We will go one more under caution. If you're just joining us, you've joined us pretty early on into this one. This is RaceVerse coverage of the Dark Horse DW12 series coming to you from Gateway. We've completed just 17 of 150 scheduled laps. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. Next race is signature broadcast on our Tuesday show, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. The IndyCar Oval Series top split, as we will pick back up our regular schedule of official iRacing races. And where they're coming to us from this week, we are coming to you from Homestead, so it should be a good time there. And also later this week, the FIS Thursday night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. FIS will be at Detroit that's their last stop before their month of May begins. Speaking of month of May, how's your month of May preparation beginning here? I know that the various teams that you drive for get pretty excited about it. Yeah, there's a lot of preparation going on for the iRacing Indy 500. We got a lot of practice and test sessions going on, so we're looking forward to a nice competitive month of May.
And lights are out on the pace car as the drivers go up against the wall, assuming the position as we getting ready to go green here on lap 19.
Let's hope for a clean start here. Everyone gets rolling pretty nicely. We have some guys at the back of the field that are pulled over, letting the guys go up high. We're going to enter turn 1 again, and we're going to have some action
side
right
by
here
side,
in the middle.
yeah.
Yeah, right in the middle of the pack.
High side extremely fast, at least later in the runs, and certainly on a restart. Here comes AJ looking to the inside. It's going to set it 2 wide on Schaus. Schaus shuts the door, turns just under, just really out-turned Lovern there. And a side-by-side, kind of crowded a little bit on corner entry. Very late turn into the corner, ideally, for this track.
We have JB, who started all the way at the back of the field, and he has managed to pick up a couple spots right off the bat. Fresh tires. He did come in right on the 1 to go, trying to get the most amount of fuel possible, top up, and get the freshest amount of tires as well. So he's going to start moving his way forward as well, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he managed to stay in the lead lap. Unfortunately, Peterson is 2 laps down. Stouffer, also involved in that incident, is now back up in the top 10. Brubacher is up to 12th as he passed that whole gaggle of cars that he's around. Here comes Casey Putski to the inside, trying to get that position back. Peterson with a brand new race car, just 2 laps down. That's the only thing that's a downside for him. Going to go 3 wide, now 2 wide down the main straight.
We have AJ Hobson making move into turn 1 underneath Laverne, clears him, makes a nice move there at the exit of turn 2.
So AJ and the Fuzzies, Ed Carpenter, Fuzzies car, Forsyth really kind of sent it into 3, got on the rumble strips a little bit, trying to pass Lovern, had to check back up, is now tucked back into the Lovern, but it was a pretty close call in turn 3 there with last week's winner. Murphy move him up to 2nd, as well as Cone up to 3rd, as Teed had a very bad exit off of 2.
I think Teed went very high in turn 2, expecting to couldn't really turn the line middle or high there, so I think he managed to keep it going, didn't touch the wall there, but he lost a lot of time to the cars up ahead of him.
A spirited battle right here with Eckert, Schaus, and Hobson. Teed actually kind of, his pace now kind of falling back into the clutches of Rafi Eckert.
We have a nice battle brewing here with AJ Hobson and Eric Schaus. Both passed each other the last lap on both sides of the track, and AJ is trying to set up another move here for P6. And up ahead of them that you see as well, Rafi Eckert going underneath Charles Teed, and it looks like he's managed to scare Charles Teed again off that outside line. So move Eckert up to P4, and Charles Teed falls back to P5.
A little further in the back, we're watching Peterson there. Just kind of riding out the remainder of this race here. Might get lucky, get a couple of wave arounds, some lucky dogs. Meanwhile, up front, Matty Wagner off to a 1-second lead over Mark Murphy. And the Miller American right there, right behind Murph, is the watchman Mark Cone. Cone in that Tom Sneva throwback.
Wagner has definitely done a great job to put a nice gap on this field and show that he knows how to get around here. He's taking the optimal line.
And now a 4-car battle here. Teed, Schaus, Forsyth, Hobson.
We have Gary Lovern slow on the back straightaway. Not sure what's gone on there.
Yeah, I think he might have smacked the wall on corner exit in 4. But he seems to be back underway. Just lost some momentum. Hopefully he's okay. Purple lap belongs to Forsyth at the moment. And there is Forsyth getting underneath Teed. So Teed starting off strong, but kind of hemorrhaging positions at the moment. I don't know if he's trying to hit a number. Oof. Schaus just kind of kept his car there. Got really close there.
It doesn't seem that Teed has managed to recover from that high stint in the marbles there, exiting turn 2, and now he's losing a lot of positions. He's going to fall down to P8.
And Stouffer is coming. He's probably a man on the mission at the moment after getting wrecked out, but not removed. We do have a fast repair in the league. He's been able to execute that, get back into the battle here, but I'm sure he's not happy about having to kind of go through this field one more time. He is now up to 9th. Jimmy Herrick, his teammate, team owner, 4D Racewear. We won't talk about them. If you are looking for some sim racing gear, you want to check out 4D Racewear. They make a made-for-sim racing line of gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them at 4dracewear.com. They're a proud sponsor here of the DW12 series and RaceVerse, for that matter. Check them out. That is their team owner, Jimmy Herrick. He is currently in 10th, so all 3 of the 4D cars in the top 10.
Yeah, AJ Hobson is the fastest car on track right now. He is making moves and getting his way up front as fast as possible. He's side by side with Craig Forsyth. Into turn 1, Forsyth gets a little bit of the dirty air. Hobson can slide his way in if he wants to. Doesn't seem to take it. So AJ Hobson is climbing through this field again after losing a few spots early on.
So I also noticed that AJ is wearing AJ Foyt's signature helmet from the 70s and 80s, where just that bright orange that says AJ on it, the coyote orange. Very nice. I like the throwbacks. Anytime someone can do the throwbacks, I'll give it a shout out.
So we still have up front, we have Matt Wagner holding a nice 1 second lead over Mark Murphy. And then Mark Cohen's hanging out there in 3rd. We have Rafi Eckert, P4, Eric Schaus, P5, and then this hornet's nest of cars that are battling for P6.
Oh, AJ gets loose,
there
coming
goes
up the
AJ.
corner exit to the inside wall, bounces in and out. We're going to have a caution.
Eric Peterson
collected,
manages
but did he snap back into place? Let's get on the Peterson. He did snap back into place, but lucky for him, because he did not have another fast repair. His car's going to have some damage. Maybe it can be repaired on pit road, but just the wrong place, wrong time. Hobson just got loose off the corner exit.
You have one of those situations where you're trying to climb the hill, and when you climb the hill, sometimes the back of the car just loses it. And unfortunately, he had a little bit of contact as well there, I believe, with I think that was Forsyth that he was with. So unfortunate for AJ Hobson there, but we have everybody's coming to pit road right now. We have one car staying out, possibly the lap down of Gary Laverne. So yeah, you got to watch your gaps. Make sure that you don't lose any time here or get a penalty on the pit entry.
There we see, just kind of came around. We'll go to the in-car to kind of give you the in-car view here. As he's to the inside, clear, very clear. Down to the bottom, doesn't clip the apron. He's going to have to his outside. Yeah, just the back end by itself, just turning that wheel a lot. We see this quite a bit on no matter what's driven here at, and then watch this. Whoa, Peterson, oh! But yeah, we see this a lot with no matter really what races here, is for whatever reason, whether it be trucks, Indy cars, different formulas of Indy cars, could be the IR05, could be IR18s, they all love to get really loose off of corner number 2. Why is that? Is it because of that high line, or is it just because people are cranking the wheel too much?
It's a mix of both. So you have the entry part of the corner high. If you race it high, you keep the car kind of flat all the way around on the outside, and you get a lot of speed coming off of the exit of 2. But if you do what AJ did there, you're coming down and you're scooping into the bowl, as it were, on the low line, and then you start to climb the hill, and as you climb the hill, the back of the car starts to get a little bit loose. You put a little bit extra throttle in it, and around it goes.
Well, good news for Peterson and Kane. They will get one lap back here on the wave around. Looks like our leader is going to be Brian Adams, who was part of that group that stopped at lap 10. He has stayed out. He's currently 27 laps on his current stint. Pretty bold statement, but he feels that maybe there might be another caution in the offering, and maybe he can get some track position here by staying out.
It's always a risk. You always want the guys that you get the wave around to have some sort of incident on a restart or something, and then you get yourself a free pit stop. So some of these guys are hoping for that and hope they get it and make this a little more competitive for these guys.
Although Adams might be coming to pit road right now. And this is where the you can get the caution, so he needs to stay behind the car in front of him, which is Kane. And then, of course, right above him, Wagner needs to stay behind him until we get to this point right about here. Right there at the cones.
Yeah, actually, you can. The cars on track are able to pass the car that's on the access road there without a penalty, because the call from iRacing will go away once the car enters pit lane. It's always a little bit confusing and a little bit suspect for people that are racing around it, but that's kind of the way that you get around the penalty. But a lot of people are a little bit scared to try and mess around with anything that iRacing is telling them to do.
Yeah, you're taking an awful lot of faith in the hands there of the iRacing automatic timing and scoring to rule in your favor. Yeah. So we check out chat here as we're coming to green. Who we got in chat? We got Lionheart Racing. So hey guys, how you doing there? That's going to be George. Matt Wagner does his best impression of typing and racing at the same time. We got the ISRA guys. That's Mike Rigney. How you doing, Mike? So thanks for joining us in chat. For everybody else, feel free to join us in chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. That's the best way to get in the chat there. Pace car is off, back under the command of Matty Wagner. Lap 38. Most everyone has been refreshed. We're good to go for another stint. Green flag. We're in the air. Here we go.
Very clean start from those in the mid-pack. We don't have a lot of action going on quite yet, but that'll change once we get by turns 1 and 2. Looks like we have some movement up in Charles T is under fire from Chris Stouffer going down to turn 3, but I think that will remain the same.
Ooh, so close there. And yes, Stouffer had to check up, and that's going to open the door for Herrick to get a run on the inside. Teammate versus teammate, actually team owner versus teammate. Let the boss by. And they keep off each other, but he slams the door on JB. Holy cow.
Watching the battle for the lead, looks like Mark Murphy actually has a little bit of speed here going up to Matt Wagner for first place going into turn 1.
Look at this high line from Murph. Third lane, if you want to call it such. Getting a good run down the backstretch. Going into 3. 3's multiple lanes, but the fastest lane is the bottom in 3. 3 and 4, excuse me, down the front stretch. Now, watch.
That's exactly it, but Murphy has a lot of speed coming down the straightaway, as you can see.
He checked up.
It gives him a lot of opportunity to save some fuel here as well. As long as he stays right to the outside of Matt Wagner, he'll have a little bit more momentum, but it seems like he's on to something here because this is the closest battle we have for the lead yet. If Murphy can get a little bit more momentum coming out of turn 4 here, he actually may be able to make a move.
Oh, he checks up. You hear him breathe.
These drivers are always thinking about fuel and where they're going to be later on in the race. As long as he has no threat from behind, which as you see, Rafi is right there, he can do whatever he wants, really. I'm sure that Murph wants to lead a lap. If he can lead a lap, that'd be great, but he's feeding a lot of dirty air to Rafi right now, and Matt is just trying to hold position there, and you can see that Murph is, again, holding on to any sort of teaspoon of fuel that he can. A teaspoon at a time gets you a lap later on.
Oh, so close on the exit.
That was way too close for comfort as far as I'm concerned.
Whoa.
It looks like Matt actually may be saving a little more fuel than we think from the lead, because you can see these guys from first place down to P5 are all stacked up quite a bit. These guys are just trying to find some sort of spot on track, but this can also lead to issues if people don't know exactly what everyone else around them is doing. You get yourself in a situation where you don't really know where to go when you turn into turn 1. If you should go low, if you should go high. As I mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, you got the low entry into turn 1 you could do if the guys ahead of you are all checking up. And I'm imagining someone like Eric Schaus may want to try and consider that.
Yeah, this the turn 1 entry, in order to drive it, it kind of is counteractive to kind of how you learn every other racetrack, or at least every other oval. You kind of want to do a medium entry, kind of dive into the bottom. We're running with Wagner right now. Watch his entry. I mean, he waits up into the third lane right to the last minute to then make his turn in. It's like a very late turn in. But that's how you have to do it here, because this is the narrow end of the racetrack.
Well, you take Mark Cohn, for example, in P5, that comes into the first corner every lap a little bit checked up. If he needs to take the momentum somewhere, so he can either try and save a little bit of fuel and ride around the outside and have no exit speed, or he can just take his momentum into the corner with a little bit of a trail break. He may not pick up a spot, but at least he'll keep the momentum going and keep anyone behind from getting anywhere near passing him. And as you see, looks like Eric made a mistake there, and Mark is going to take advantage.
Yeah, gets the position there. Move the Watchman up to P4. There was a good battle there between Rafi and Schaus, and whatever happened to Schaus there, it kind of washed up, had to check out of it, cost him 2 spots. We're kind of getting in a bit of a rhythm, reaching lap 49, third of the way through the race. Let's take a look.
JB making a move on Mr. Teed going into turn 3 here.
There we go. Yeah, we're just getting ready to go through the rest of the field, see what's going on. All right, now everyone seems to be in line. There's a battle brewing back for Schaus again, as he's now collected himself and is trying to regain the position he lost to Cohn. So the career wins leaders in the IndyCar Series at Gateway are Joseph Newgarden. He is the king of Gateway. He has 4, including 3 in a row from 2020 to 2022. Scott Dixon is your defending winner here, and he has 2 wins here. So going into this 2024 NTT IndyCar season, he will be the defending winner when they revisit here later in the season. But really, the names of the former winners here read like a who's who of IndyCar history, and I guess that just kind of adds to the complexity and the difficulty of this track. There's really no surprise winners here. Every single one of these winners has either an Indy 500 win or a championship to their name. Paul Tracy, Alex Zanardi, Michael Andretti, Juan Montoya, Alan Jr., Jill DeFerrin, Elio Castroneves, Will Power, and Takuma Sato. I mean, you look at that list, and the worst name on that list might be Takuma Sato, and the dude has 2 Indy 500 wins. I mean, the talent that wins here, you got to be pretty good.
You have to always find the hardest part of the track and master it, and that's definitely turn 1 and 2 on this track. This track has actually gone through quite a bit of change in the last 25 years or so. We had a bridge over turn 4 at one point. Mm-hmm. And something like that may even kind of change the complexion of exactly how these races go. You have probably had a repave at one point. We have a battle for the lead right now.
There's Murph. Yep, we're watching it.
Matt Wagner has lost the lead for the first time in this race. We have Rafi that's about to come by, but Matt's going to be right in that draft path of Mark Murphy here. But
Murph and Eckert to the lead, just drives underneath them all. And now he's kind of wanting to break the draft. Though it didn't really work. Murph is right there. Going to take a look underneath him, going in the 1 and 2. He's going to stick with him. Not going to be able to gain any more territory.
I'm really wondering what Matt's strategy is here, because it almost looks like he's been on a fuel save of sorts. Maybe he's found something in the fuel numbers that gives him some sort of idea that if he saves enough fuel, he'll be able to either cut out a pit stop or have a very short last pit stop, because first couple of stints before these cautions came about, he really took off, and now it seems that he's falling back a little bit. He's stacked up the top 5 in such a way that they're actually able to get by him now. So Matt's definitely thinking a little bit later in this race, as far as I'm concerned.
And Rafi, the last 5 laps average, been the fastest race car on the track. 2:25.1 has been his average. He's definitely very interested in protecting his position very early in this race still. He's going to the inside of the racetrack trying to break the draft. Again, down the backstretch doing the same thing.
I'm trying to watch Matt's car to see exactly what he's doing, if he's lifting, if he's doing something, or if he just got a little outdriven here.
Let's ride with him. 2 gears in the corner.
Just seems a little strange to me that he was leading so clearly, and then all of a sudden, now he finds himself in third, and you got guys chomping right behind him, trying to get by as well. So, I think he's found himself in a comfortable spot now where he could save a little bit of fuel if he wants to.
Here comes Cone. And a new graphic that we're going to put up on the screen here. Weather conditions. There you go. Well, not a new graphic, just a more integrated graphic. 76 degrees track temp, air temp, and ambient 71. So we shouldn't be having any mass tire deg due to heat. We'll have tire deg due to just being used a lot on the racetrack. I mean, they're 24 laps into their current stint, so we're going to be seeing a little bit of deg right now anyways, but we probably expect to see pit stops here coming up momentarily. Probably, what do you think, halfway through the stint?
A little bit more than halfway, I think.
Yeah.
But as you can see from this wide shot here, we got 2 more cars that have joined this party. You got Stouffer and you got Craig Forsyth as well, who have now joined this party. So now you got even more dirty air that you're fighting in these corners. So guys like Forsyth and Stouffer are on a mission to get forward, whereas you see guys like Matt Wagner are doing some sort of fuel save. And you're putting yourself in a situation where you got more side-by-side like you see with Stouffer and Eric Schaus there.
Battle for 10th. JB on the bottom. Tried to send it, get 2 positions in 1 lap. I think he did. He got credit for it, but he is now back to 9th. Jim Herrick is in 8th. Charlie Teed is in 10th. This is a battle back here. Oh, Teed! And that's going to be a caution. My gosh, look at that front wing fly. And I think that was kind of a what happened to Hobson. Almost identical.
I think that sounds pretty similar to what we saw with climbing the hill there, but let's take a look on the replay.
Try to get a better angle. Here we go. So yeah, he's just riding there in the draft of Herrick. Each one, look, the different line. Each one picks a different line through 1 and 2 there.
Right to the middle of the track, and let's see what happens on the exit.
Just comes around. And his tire tracks almost covered the exact same tire tracks that you saw that were left there from Lee Kane and Hobson from earlier.
Yeah, the difference you see there is that Teed was high already, kind of riding that second lane all the way around, whereas both Yari and AJ both came from the bottom and rode up. So I think it's just later in the stint you get the rear tires that have some sort of issue here, and next thing you know, Teed finds himself backwards.
Well, we are back on pit road. Everyone's going to take this opportunity. 27 laps since most of these guys stopped last. Watching Rafi Eckert on pit road, going up on the pneumatic jacks, down and away, full fuel and new tires. Mark Cohn makes a good run out of the pits. I believe he moves up to 2nd. Murph's 3rd. Schaus is 4th. And watch Picaro. Picaro, I think, was going to stay out, but he now has to fall in a little bit further on back. They'll sort it out here. Murph is in 4th. Wagner 5th. Stouffer moves up to 6th. Forsyth in 7th, and then Herrick at 8th. So the 4D guys right in a row, 6th, 7th, and 8th. JB in 10th. Casey Pahutsky, he has stayed clear of a lot of the carnage, worked his way back up to 11th. Brad Adams, much in the same breath there, worked up 6 spots, just staying out of everyone's troubles. Gary Lovern in 13th on the pit access road. He is coming in for his pit stop.
A little bit of gamesmanship going on pit road there between Wagner and Schaus. Schaus was kind of trying to distract Wagner a little bit going down the pit lane. It looked like he was kind of sitting there on his left rear quite a bit. Wagner wound up losing the spot to him. So you can't get the spot on the track. You got to find ways to pull someone on the pit lane, and Eric got right into Matt's head.
Well, there's not a lot of places to go on this pit road. You have the passing lane, you have the what I call the turn lane, and of course you have then the your own pit lane or your pit stall. So there's not a lot of room on pit road that if you want to joust with someone, it's either you make contact with them or the wall. In any case, it's not going to shape up good for you.
As a racing driver, you want to do any possible thing you can to throw somebody off their game, and doing something like that it may not be the best in terms of sportsmanship, but if you can get the spot and you feel good about it, then go for it.
Looks like AJ Hobson stayed out. He'll get the wave around here momentarily in the Ed Carpenter Fuzzy's Vodka livery. But Rafi Eckert is your leader. Rafi's staying way to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to go around the furthest distance, shortest distance around this racetrack under caution. So I think he's thinking long-term with fuel. And there goes AJ Hobson going around the pace car. Pace car lights are out. We're getting ready to go green. Once again, if you're just joining us, thank you for watching. This is RaceVerse coverage of round 6 of the Dark Horse DW12 series, coming to you from Gateway, where Rafi Eckert currently leads with 66 of 150 in the book. Had a couple of yellow situations here, kind of slowed us down a little bit, but when we've been green, the racing's been pretty snappy. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. And we're about less than a half a lap to go before we go green here once more, coming to lap 67. Coming to the halfway point here just in a little bit. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I was just listening to some of the driver chat. There was a lot of contention there with that pit stop, so we could discuss it a little further, but we're about to go back green here. Rafi Eckert's going to take the green flag. Looks like a pretty clean start up and down the field. And we're going to have some action with Matt Wagner going into turn 1.
Interesting. Rafi did not join the rest of the field up against the wall. He just took the restart from the center of the track. So that just tells you really that he believes right now the draft is not that dangerous to him.
I've just mentioned it before, playing with the other people's minds. Everyone expects you to be up on the wall. You want to do something different. You're kind of making that person think for a second and not realize that they're going green right away. So it's these little things and these little tricks that drivers play, and sometimes it's something as simple as that can give you a little bit more advantage. Stouffer to the outside of Matt Wagner for P5. It looks like Forsyth may also be able to get on the inside going into 3.
There he goes. 2 for 1 for the 4D team. Move down.
Herrick gets loose.
Oh, Herrick.
Exit of 4. Just happened to catch that right as I was going back to the field.
Let's see what happens here. Let's see if we can get another camera angle here. He gets the apron. Apron bad. He caught it. Went back again to the inside. Yari steered clear, stayed to the inside, didn't rebound, ricochet back up the racetrack. And unfortunately, it's only Jim. But fortunately, it's only Jim. So really no one else collected. Jim will come around and get the fast repair, but we're under caution again.
Yeah, I caught that one by accident, actually. I was trying to cycle the other way through the field, and I cycled backwards and saw a spinning car. So unfortunate for Jim there. Hope I didn't cause a commentator's curse of any sort for you. And
but somehow we missed the lead for a pass for the lead. Cone, during that exchange, while we were watching the incident, got the drop on Eckert and got the position.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look back at that myself, and I think it was probably one of those turn 1 and 2 situations where Mark might have just had a little better situation. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Yeah, it looks like Mark had a very great draft down the front straightaway and then managed to find the optimal line through 1 and 2, drafts him down the back straightaway, and right into turn 3, as the caution came out, he gets the spot.
Perfect timing. Right as the caution falls. Eckert coming to pit road, so he's going to use this as an opportunity to visit one more time and to add some precious fuel. Extend, well, it's not really a stint because he is in his stint coming in, but it's going to kind of extend his run on everyone else when they come to pit road one more time in this race. We're looking at least one more stop, if not more.
Yeah, it's barely an advantage there for Eckert, just because all the cars came down the pit lane about 5 laps ago. So It's just a top off. It'll give him an opportunity to play around with some strategy. Should a caution come out about halfway through the stint, he could decide to stay out for the track position and then make sure that he does the one more stop, whereas everybody else would also have to do one more stop. So if we go green till about lap 105 or so, I think we're going to be good for everybody to be on their final stop.
And if you're watching from home and you're thinking, hey, this is something I like to try, make sure to check out the Lionheart, or not Lionheart, that's the other league. The Dark Horse.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, well, they're in chat. Yeah, check out Lionheart eventually when they rejoin, when their schedule picks back up in 2025. But for the Dark Horse series here, if you want to check them out, their link to their Discord server is in the description. And provided you got the car, which the car is free now, and you got the tracks. The next track is Milwaukee that we will be visiting in a week. And you got the skill set, you can also be a member of the Dark Horse DW12 series. Check them out at their Discord server.
Yeah, this car is definitely a lot of fun to drive. There isn't a lot of the changes, the car changes you could do in this car like in the newer IndyCar, but it's still so much fun to just do a whole different kind of simulation and racing series.
All right, Wagner just told me to wake up. You're back in sixth. Just pay attention to what's in front of you on the road, okay? And there he is right there. We got him on camera. That's just a cheap way for him to get on camera as well. But as for the DW12 series, this is, I believe now, outside of, like actually mentioning Lionheart, outside of Lionheart, this is the longest running DW12 series on the service. They are 7 seasons in, hoping for many more. And they've been continuously coming back and putting on good products with this bit of an older car. Matt,
yeah, this is one of those cars that everybody sort of feels is very nostalgic. They miss all the good times that were in the DW12. It's such a different beast compared to any other iteration of the IndyCar. So I understand why this series continues to thrive.
And it is a free car, so this is one of the cars that you don't have to spend any money on in order to enjoy it on the service. So check it out. Getting ready back to go green. Everyone up against the wall in the familiar position. It's going to be under the command of Mark Cohn and that Tom Sneva throwback. Pace car makes that abrupt turn off the racetrack. And here we go, coming to 74. Next time by, we are halfway through.
Be interesting to see how Mark is as the leader, as he's not been up in that spot yet. So he has quite a gap there.
Car in the wall.
Murph. Oh, you caught it before me this time. This is a this is a chance.
Yeah, car in the wall, and let's do the replay of this. He got punted coming to green, and Eckert kind of didn't know where he wanted to go, and didn't know where to go, and just gave Lee Kane a bit of a punt.
Yeah, that is very tough to explain from the car behind situation. You have a car that's trying to get going, and you just kind of drive right through him. It doesn't seem to be something that couldn't be avoided there. So I'm not really sure how that all came about, if there was a little more overspeed from the cars behind, but I think that incident could have been avoided for sure.
And let's check it out here real quick. Well, we got time under caution. Unless the admins can make the period shorter, we'll have at least a couple of laps here to check it out. But here we go. We're just riding with Eckert on the roll cage over his head. It's about another foot or so higher than where he normally views. So we get a further look down the nose. And here he comes, coming to green. And he could have gone to the outside, kind of goes back to the outside, then inside. And I think he actually might have picked up some damage from that as well. But bringing the field back to a caution, unfortunately. And Lee Kane is a victim as a result of it. And he's back on pit road.
As the car behind, that's pretty poor decision making. There was no room for him to go on the outside of that car at all. I think the yellow car, Lee Kane, there was trying to drive pretty straight down the front straightaway, as it were, and Rafi just tried to find a gap, and it just closed on him. So yeah, just very unfortunate there in that situation. And here we sit under pacing laps again. Now going back to the fuel strategy, yeah, we're looking. Now we had Rafi was the only car that pitted there, and now he seems to be out of the race. So I think everybody's still on the same strategy. Everybody's got one more fuel stop to go. If we continue with these yellows, despite the fact that the field is getting shorter, I think it's time to consider an alternate strategy and try and make sure that you put yourself in a spot where you have a shorter last fuel stop here. So I say we keep going for another 15 or so laps, and then you might see people trying an alternate strategy for a fuel save.
All right. And we do see that Jim Herrick is ahead of the leader here. So Jim Herrick will get the wave around. Momentarily. That does bring Herrick back onto the lead lap. So there are now 13 cars on the lead lap, although I think Eckert's back on the racetrack, so he has not retired yet. Shout out to the big gainers, though. Schaus up 11, Stouffer up 13. Iker Pagero. We haven't talked about him all night. He is in that Snap-on car, a little bit further back. Red Snap-on car right there. Come on, there we go. He is up 9 spots into the top 10 just by simply keeping the nose clean and keeping everything in front of him. He has now worked his way up into a top 10 position. Gary Lovern had some difficulties. Looks like he might have smacked the wall a little bit earlier in the race. He's back in the top 10, 8th. AJ Hobson, we saw him getting loose off a corner 2. Had to execute his fast repair. He is now in 9th. Pahutsky, again, a very conservative yet safe run in 10th. Yari Brubacher, JB there in 11th on the lead lap. There's Rafi Eckert, and just in a moment, when he gets the wave around, Jim Herrick will join the tail end of the field to bring us back to 13 cars on the lead lap.
Stole the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was going to go through as you started talking. So yeah, great job for Eric Schaus to be up 11 spots. A little gamesmanship on pit road got him a couple more spots, but he's up there competing with guys that have been up there the whole time. And Mark Cohn has done seriously a great job leading this race from the point on these last 2 restarts. So I don't imagine he's going to want to give it up at all to his fellow Mark there in P2.
And Schaus in a new livery. Last couple of weeks he's been in that Jolly Rogers F14 livery. Now he's in the Hot Wheels, and I had to look. I could not. I know that IndyCar and Hot Wheels have had an agreement. Insofar that every time you bought a program, you would get actually a Hot Wheels model on the blister pack and everything in the bag with you, getting ready to go green. But I don't think there's ever been a Hot Wheels sponsored total IndyCar. I went and looked it up, and I thought there might have been, but I can't find one. So if someone in chat knows, speak up. But I don't think there has ever been a 100% Hot Wheels sponsored IndyCar. Back under green, Mark Cohen, your leader, Mark Murphy, P2, and the Hot Wheels of Eric Schaus in P3, and Stouffer getting a bit of a rundown on the back straightaway, going into 3, Murphy on the double side. Murph to the lead in the Miller American.
Iker Pagero had a moment coming out of 2 that almost brought another caution. He loses a spot to Gary Lovern, and it looks like AJ Hobson is also going to try and take advantage, but Iker is coming back on the inside of Gary again.
Jim Herrick decided to stop under when he got the wave around, didn't quite make it off of pit road, and is back now down a lap.
We have Stouffer right on the inside, Eric Schaus entering turn 3. I think Schaus is going to win out here just because of the draft on the outside,
yep.
But But these guys are all very, very much so tuned to exactly what's going on here, so they're going to figure it out. Mark Murphy is now taking the lead, and he's up there at the point in P1.
Yeah, Murph, my Monday night and also Sunday afternoon broadcast partner.
I still feel like there's some sort of fuel save going on here, just with how much we're stacked up in the first 6 spots here. So as long as Murphy can try and hold that spot and save some fuel at the same time, that'd be great. But we are under caution again.
Caution. And we were just riding along with Murph, and we, if you noticed, right to his left hand there, those 2 yellow lights. Just as we clicked on them to do the in-car, I saw those yellow lights, and not sure what the issue was. Let's take a look on the racetrack. Is it Piguero?
Yeah, it was Iker Piguero. He was loose a couple times coming out of turn 2, and I wonder if something has happened to him to get him fully around after saving it a couple times.
Yeah, just giving him a shout out as he got up at the top 10, and maybe we just gave him the broadcaster curse, which I've been very good at lately doing. I don't know what the deal is, but
I did it to Jim Herrick earlier, so I think we're in good company.
Very low entry for Iker down into 1 and 2.
I sense we're going to ride up the hill. I sense we're going to have a nice little spin, maybe not.
No, that's a Punterino.
Maybe a little bit of help.
That's a Punterino by Rafi Eckert. Another Punterino.
Oh no, another Rafi Eckert incident. That's not looking good on him.
Let's ride with Rafi. So we're under caution, and we're just going to see pit stops here. So we'll get back here to the action and reset everything once more. But
I'm watching the pit stops here.
All right, so we're watching Rafi in the draft. I think Iker just has a very shallow. He takes a look to the inside of JB. Very shallow entry in the 1 and 2, and that's going to cause you to go up the hill, and then it's going to cause you to roll out of the throttle. There you can see him massively turning that wheel, trying to get the car to turn, and Rafi just could not slow down in time and sends Iker, unfortunately, around. So back up front. Let's see who stopped.
Yeah, my little summary is Murphy got out way ahead of everybody else, so I'm wondering if he skipped tires, which may be a very interesting strategy.
We can check that. We can check that.
He exited the pits extremely far away from everybody else that was around him. So unless everybody else around him had bad pit stops, I wonder if he took tires.
Let's watch. We'll do a replay here of pit road, see if he goes up on the jacks. Here's a ground level view going through his stall here. I don't see the car rising. Nope. Fuel only for Mark Murphy.
That is a very interesting strategy call, and I think he's only thinking about track position right now, not worried so much about tire wear. So, yeah, I was very curious as to why he left the pits so much farther ahead of the rest of his competitors. So let's see if that pays off for him. As soon as he gets passed by anybody, though, it's gonna be hard times for him.
Track temp is 74 right now. Air temp 71, so that has not changed very much since last time we checked. So opting to stay out. This seems like a team decision based upon the 2 cars. Stouffer in the silver and blue 4D car. That's a very slick looking ride there. I like that. Then we got Forsyth in the Forsyth throwback 4D car. This is P1, P2. These are teammates. I'll imagine that is a team decision there. Jari Brubacher gets some track position. He pitted on lap 76, so he stayed out. Iker Piguero, he despite the caution, moved up to 4th. And he decided that he would stay out. And I don't think he even went to pit road after the spin. So this is going to be interesting. Mark Murphy, though, is the first of the cars to come to pit road at lap 84. Those that came in at lap 84, Murph, Gary Lovern, the Watchman Cohn, Schaus, Wagner, Hobson, Eckert, Pahutsky, Jim Herrick on pit road right now. So that's the group of people that stopped at 84. So a couple of different pit strategies at work right now.
Not sure why Iker didn't pit. He did have quite a bit of wall contact there. I'm taking a look at his car right now, and it seems a little twisted. But as long as he manages to hold on to it, it may pay off for him. But I imagine he's not going to have any downforce or any sort of turn or anything when he enters the corner. So hopefully people behind him realize that he's damaged and can find some way to do some avoidance.
Yeah, and right now the key person on that one is Murph. Murph's going to be the first car that's going to have to deal with that. So we'll see how Murph deals with a possible damaged Iker Peguero right in front of him for position going into turns 1 and 2. Coming to green for lap 87. And we'll watch actually this battle of form. Here comes Murph to the outside. He will probably get the position going in the 1, but is going to stack him up behind. Peguero's keeping his foot in it. And
yeah,
Murph clears him.
This is going to be a mess going into turn 3. I imagine we got Matt Wagner bringing a 3 wide with Schaus.
Oh my gosh.
Schaus is stuck in the middle, and there's contact.
And Schaus and Wagner. Caution.
That was always going to happen. We have Schaus was just going to keep his foot in it no matter what, and with a little bit of dirty air, that was going to result in some sort of incident.
Yeah, look at this. No one at this point. You got to hear in your headset 3 wide, and now you know you're going into turn 3. Some point somebody needs to back out. No one was willing to back out on this one, and Schaus actually came down a little bit on Wagner. Wagner, I don't think came up at all.
I agree with that interpretation. I think Schaus found himself kind of stepped downwards in the middle, and if you give yourself just a little bit of a breathe on throttle, you could tuck in on the outside line, and I don't think Schaus was willing to do anything of the sort.
Yeah, he's right here. There's a hole in the middle there. Cone kind of slams the door. Schaus now right behind Cone. Lovern to the outside. Lovern in the draft of the car in front of him, which is a Peguero. Coming into the corner.
If Schaus leaves a lane open on the bottom, and Gary leaves somewhat of a lane there, and Schaus tries to take something. So I think Schaus is more focused on taking the bottom than giving Gary the top and coming a little bit high on the outside. Sometimes it's worth it just to breathe a little bit on the outside, because then you'll have all the draft down the front straightaway, and you can get whatever position that you think you gave up on the inside.
Yeah, kind of praying to hear clear in the headsets, and no clear came, and he went ahead and kind of put it down there anyways. It's okay. We're all learning. We're not professionals here. But that did end up taking out 2 of the leaders that will be able to execute their fast repairs. But maybe this is playing in the Stouffer and Forsyth strategy, because, again, they stayed out.
I don't mean to bring up and stir the pot here, but this is the exact same 2 drivers in that last incident that had that little disagreement on the pit road. So I wonder if there's a little bit more going on there. Hopefully that these guys can work it out post-race and everything. But I think that there was a situation there where some tensions were rising there, and no one wanted to lift there. So hopefully that all works out later on. But I agree with you that right now, with the round robin of yellows we keep getting, we need to try and come up with a new strategy here, because it seems to be 5 laps at a time in a yellow. So the track position is always king. Eventually you're going to run out of fuel, but you could worry about that later. As long as you're avoiding all the melee that's happening in the middle part of the top 10, I think you're on the right strategy.
And Wagner said that Lovern did the same, and I'm not sure exactly what he meant by that, but Lovern, I think never came down. In my interpretation of the replay there, Lovern gave room to the outside in the middle. If Wagner, I don't think was at fault either. Again, I think we're saying this might have been Schaus coming down and causing the incident. If Schaus would have held his line, he probably would have made it through. He's laughing now. If Schaus would have stayed in this line in the middle and not decided to come down, they would have made it. All 3 of them would have made it through the corner. I think hindsight's always 20/20, but you know.
Yeah, don't sit there and hope that 3 wide goes through turns 3 and 4 at Gateway without there being some sort of issue. Someone's got to give in that fast corner, because as soon as you start to get high, you'll continue to go higher and higher and higher, and then you find yourself
running out of room.
That outside wall in turn 4, exactly.
Yeah.
So being in the middle, if it were me, I would have just tried to tuck in on the outside line and try and feather it all the way through and have the draft going down the front straightaway. It's not easy to just kind of resign like that, but it's better than putting yourself in a spot where you're only leaving yourself a cars with a room on the bottom, hoping that you don't do a Jim Herrick on the exit.
Well, speaking of Jim Herrick and the guys at 4D Racewear, tonight's race coverage was brought to you by 4D Racewear. Check out their line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in their description. Currently, their cars are 1st, 2nd, and 10th in this race.
We were talking about Jim Herrick just getting his lap back a little bit ago. Now he finds himself in the top 10. So, unfortunately, there's chaos abound, but it's helping some of the drivers that are trying to get back into this race that had some sort of unfortunate situation happen to them as well. So, let's see if we can get some green laps strung together here as we go back to racing again.
Yeah, coming back to green at lap 91. Stouffer, Forsyth, Brubacher, Murphy, Cohen going to bring us back. Here we go. Green flag. Let's see if we can complete this one under green, shall we, fellas? Green flag in the air.
We still have Eicher with a damaged car, so we have to watch out for that as well. He's not managed to start very well in P6. Gary Lovren goes around the outside.
High side. Freight trains a big time. Here comes Hobson on the high side as well. Pahutsky is next going to be in line there, but I think there's a bit of a distance. Pahutsky probably will not catch him until the front straight. Here comes Rafi Eckert. Rafi Eckert immediately up on the backside of the attenuator of Pahutsky. Now he has Jimmy Herrick to the inside. Not going to be able to allow him to pull down. Herrick to the inside, trying to get the position on Pahutsky. This is for 9th. And the high line has the best momentum. Here comes Eckert to the low side. We got Picaro, who is now really slow at the high side. And I think we might have had almost contact there. Oh, wow. He was just trying to get out of everyone's way, it almost looks like. But he has worked his way all the way back to 13th. Meanwhile, back up to that battle we're just watching with Herrick and Eckert and Pahutsky. Pahutsky's holding them off, currently in 8th.
You're watching that video there, entering turn 3, and Schaus and Wagner almost had yet another coming together. They all managed to come out of it alive. It looks like Wagner's got a nice run now going down the front straightaway into turn 1 right behind Jim Herrick.
Big runs up to the high side in turns 1 and 2 there. See the closing distance.
Up front, you got the 4D Racewear guys that are giving each other plenty of room, plenty of space. I think Craig is going to lift off a little bit here and give Stouffer a little bit of room, as he does entering turn 1 and 2. Murphy is under fire from Cohn behind, and JB has managed to squeak himself into a podium finishing spot right now.
He just sneaks his way in there. That's just like he did last week. So props to him. See if he can hold on, maybe improve that position a little bit more. Put blanket over these three right here. This is a battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
I think everyone's starting to kind of settle into this green flag run. I think we're going to see pit stops probably in the somewhere around the 110 to 115 time frame. They're going to want to be the first ones to make the last stop.
10 to 15 laps, give or take. We're almost at a 100 point, so about 13, 18 laps now, actually. Murph ducking out, taking a look to the low side. The low side's not going to pay off anymore. He just gets back in line. That gave a bunch of momentum there to Cohn. Cohn can take a look at the inside. This is where he's going to get a position right on the inside in 3 and 4. It's a game of chess. You got to think a turn ahead here at Gateway.
Just took a look at Eicher, Pagero. It's still kind of floundering around here. He needs to come in and fix that car. I don't understand what strategy he's running here. It's no fun to drive around when you can't drive full speed, and he seems to be just kind of hoping for some late caution to get him back on strategy or something, but he's going to find himself a lap down very shortly here. Murphy with the dive under Cohn in turn 1. Climbs the hill, no momentum. Mark has that outside line. Heading down the back straight into turn 3. It looks like Cohn is going to get that spot back. We have Mark with the C and Mark with the K battling big time right here.
Cone, a regular participant in the Lionheart Series. He also participates in our Monday, the ISRA Truck Series, which is completed. He got a win there at the season ender at Fontana. They'll be moving on to the Xfinity Series cars here in a week, and he'll be in that series. But normally you see him at least on the Retro Series level at Lionheart. And he's decided to pull out the DW12 and try a little bit of dark horse action here. And doing pretty good in the third spot.
You remember those DW12 Lionheart days, don't you, Barry? Those wonderful times. Mark Cohen had to sit there on the sidelines and watch us all and judge us all race long. Now he gets to be a part of it, and now we're the ones sitting up
now
here.
Now we get to judge, yeah.
We're talking about them all entire race long, so definitely the tables have turned, and I hope he enjoys this broadcast once it's all over and done with. But yeah, it looks like this battle for third is kind of settled out now. I think Cone has the spot, and Murphy's going to just be comfortable where he is right now, save some tires, get some momentum, maybe learn a few things about where Mark with the C's line is, and maybe pounce later on in the stint.
So these all guys stopped at 84. So if we're looking at 40 laps or so, is that what they're still talking about, 40 laps or so for a tank?
Roughly, a few more laps than that is more
so
likely.
We're probably looking at 125, 126, 127, certainly before 130, somewhere in there for their next stop, for their final stop. However, Forsyth and Stouffer, whenever they stop, that should be their final stop.
Exactly, yeah. People are going to 110 is probably the number everyone's looking for to make sure they can go full tilt on the final stint there.
And that is coming up in 5 laps. Next up for the series is the Milwaukee Mile. So if you get used to the short track racing, now this is not quite a super speedway, but it's a mile and a quarter, and it races very much like a short track. And so what we see going on here, if you like this type of action, definitely come back in a week and check us out in Milwaukee.
Leaders are coming by Iker Piguera right now. I think Murphy's going to try and take advantage of something here, perhaps. No, it doesn't look like he can. Iker still is out there with that damaged vehicle. And we have contact right behind with Gary and AJ. I was just pinned right on that story there. It looks like it was so close. And unfortunately, there was a little bit of contact on the exit.
Watch the replay. So right behind him, Hobson, right at the end of the front straight, makes a very aggressive move to the inside. He starts to wash up because that's just the nature of what happens here. And a little bit of net code, almost identical to what we saw very early on. And Lovern watched. Oh, we got to ride with Jim Herrick. I think Jim just watched his life pass in front of his eyes. And here's the image from the view from Jim Herrick as that unfolds in front of him. So I think what we had a lot of happen there is Hobson's right front wing kind of comes in contact with Lovern's left front side pod or bumper pod there. And he goes around. Watch Herrick as he sees this action unfold in front of him. Sees him bouncing all over the place. And then here comes Lovern back up the racetrack. Whoa! Threading the needle.
Too close for comfort as far as I'm concerned. You see cars spinning ahead of you, you want to make sure that they do not come rolling back into your path. Lucky that nobody got involved there, but I think that Lovern probably should have held his brakes there in order to just
Forsyth off pit road first. I think Forsyth might have got the run off pit road. If not, it was Stouffer, but it was by the closest of margins. Everybody's stopping, so this should be, well, with this caution, this should get everybody home. But it's, you said 110. It's going to be close, but we got a couple laps under caution still.
I believe you're right. It was by a hair, not even by a front wing end plate. It was that close between Stouffer and Forsyth. So I think it looks like Forsyth has the point. I mean, yes, we're just outside the window here, but I'm not counting out another caution.
Yep, that's true.
It seems that these guys know exactly how to get their hands dirty, and I don't think that we're done with cautions yet.
Look at how close that is. We just have a bad angle.
I mean, that's less than an end plate, as I mentioned. It's you're measuring in fingernail lengths when you're exiting pit lane sometimes. And I mean, if I were Stouffer and I lost out there, I'd be like, why couldn't I have just maybe gone a little bit more to the left, just as the line goes across the track there. It's tough sometimes to judge exactly where it goes, but yeah, Forsythe's got it. But I mean, Stouffer is no joke. He's led quite a few laps here. He probably was trying a bunch of different lines. Now he has to play with the dirty air a little bit, but this should really be a fascinating finish if we can keep it clean.
If we can keep it clean. Let's reset the field here real quick. Craig Forsythe is your leader. That's last week's winner. With one more win, Craig actually gets into the top 4 of all-time DW12 or Dark Horse DW12 Series wins here. We'll pull up I think he actually ties. I think he ties Nick DeGroot on the all-time list. We'll look that up here just momentarily after we're done resetting the field. Chris Stouffer is P2. Mark Cohn is P3. Mark Murphy is P4. Yari Brubacher, JB, is in 5th. Jim Herrick, well, we've seen the troubles he's been through, and he has survived himself up to 6th. Rafi, well, he's had a race full of adventures in the Leaner Energy team livery there. He is in 7th. Schaus also had an adventuresome race. He is in 8th. Wagner, same situation. These guys back in 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th have seen a little bit more action than they wanted to tonight. Wagner in 9th. Casey Bahutsky, he's kept everything in front of him. I don't think he's executed a fast repair yet tonight, so it's still there. If he wants to get into racing here, he can. That's one of the things I don't like about the fast repair. It kind of opens the door for someone to, race really hard and, oh well, if I get into accident, let's go get my fast repair. But he's obviously following a strategy that's paid off pretty well, so we'll just leave it to him to continue what he's doing. He is in 10th spot there, and he's survived the troubles all night long. Iker Piguero is now down a lap, despite being in the top 10 not too long ago. Hopefully he's gone to pit road, got some work done on his car. But we're coming back to green. Let's see how far we get here before another caution. Let's hope not. Let's get this to the end here, guys. It's going to be a good finish if we can do that. Field is under the command of Craig Forsythe. Here we go.
I was going to say, I think we're right on the edge of the full tank here. I think these guys will make it to the end of the race. But we'll have to see exactly how this plays out. I think Stouffer got a decent jump on Forsythe, and he's going to have the run down at turn 3 immediately with no blocking at all from Forsythe. So he must have realized that he messed up a little bit and knew Stouffer was coming. So Stouffer takes that lead, and he's going to lead this lap. Lap 112 is now done.
Maybe they need to cooperate with each other to get a little fuel mileage. So there's also that in. But no, this time 2, 1, and 2. Craig washes up into the high line, and now Cohn is right on him.
Wagner seems to have lost a spot to, I believe it was Schaus that started ahead of him, right?
Yeah, Schaus is in 7th now, Herrick 9th.
Schaus is in 7th, and
Wagner in 9th, yeah.
Okay, no, I'm sorry, it was Herrick that lost 2 spots there on the restart. So, yeah, Wagner just seems to have probably be wondering where his race went wrong after that first of the long green runs there where he led and he dropped back to 4th and found himself in the middle of a lot of controversy here. So he's probably kicking himself for taking the strategy he did, just based on all the cautions that we had, and now he finds himself in a spot where he has a lot of cars to pass to get back where he started from.
Of the cars here in the top 3, Stouffer's already executed his fast repair. Forsythe and Cohn have not, at least that we know of.
It seems Yari has also jumped back a couple spots from where he restarted. He was sitting near a podium spot. Now he finds himself in 6th, and here comes Eric Schaus in that Hot Wheels machine.
Let's check out these closing lap speeds here for this last stint. These guys, here's Craig, a 179 last time by. Stouffer, 178 last time by. Cone, 179. They're up there with not quite pole speeds, but good qualification speeds. Eckert moving up to 4th around Murph. Murph now shouts to the inside. What was that? Wow. Eckert just cut to the inside down the front stretch. So he's still trying to continue the strategy of breaking the draft.
I think these guys up front are saving fuel again because this is starting to get a little bit packed up. So I think that fuel is a concern. You can see Mark keeps getting these, Mark with a C, keeps getting these runs down the front straightaway, and I think he might take the lead here. Time for someone else to lead and the others to save some fuel. I imagine that the fuel number can't be too far off of a full run here, but I think it's just going to be a matter of leapfrog and save as much as you can and be the first one to be good to go flat out for the rest of the race. We're running into this situation again where you have everybody stacking up on the high side, and if somebody pushes a little too much on the inside at 1 and 2, they're going to ride up the hill, and there's going to be another
big issue.
So
there's going to be a big issue.
Everyone needs to mind their P's and Q's and enter with a little less speed in order to carry the momentum properly to get out of turn 2 in such a way that doesn't lose anybody any time. It's very easy for first place Mark Cohn to find the proper line into turn 1. He doesn't have to worry about any stack ups and no dirty air. So you got a lot of hungry guys back here in the back part of this top 6 that really feel like they might have a shot, and just hope that everybody understands the checkup rate. You have Yari and Matt that will likely join this party very soon here, so it's going to be a very, very close run here right to the closing laps.
Coming to 123 of 150. Cover the top 7 with a blanket down the front straight. Cone, Forsyth, Stouffer, Eckert, Murphy, Schaus, Brubacher going in the 1 and 2.
Single file all the way around. These guys are doing a really good job of trying to find some clean air. They've had enough practice now behind each other that they know exactly what line they got to take, how much speed to carry into the corner, and how they have to exit in order to either gain some time or hopefully not lose some time to the car behind. So Matt is coming up very close to this pack now, so it's about to be an 8-car snake down both sides of this track here for the last 25 laps. I think at this point you're going to see one of these guys really jump out and take their full burn and head to the front, and hopefully they get up there first, because that's going to be what wins this race.
And remember the point situation. Eric Schaus is your points leader, so he definitely wants to make it to the end. Wagner is in P2 in the points. He definitely wants to make it to the end. Again, those two have already used fast repairs. Stouffer as well. He is 3rd in the points. Jari Brubacher, I can't recall if he's used a fast repair or not. He's currently 4th, and he's in this battle as well.
I don't believe Yari's been caught up in an incident yet. Sorry, I take that back. I'm not saying yet. He has not been caught up in an incident. Stouffer is on the move. I think he might be comfortable. He has gotten by Forsyth, and now he's putting a lot of pressure on Cone. So I think Stouffer might be going for the lead here, and if he's good to go, it's going to be very hard to get back by him again.
Stouffer going to a higher line. Mark likes the lower line in 1 and 2.
I think with that defensive move right there, that shows you that Mark is also good to go. He saved enough fuel, he thinks. Yep. So he does not want to lose the lead. So Stouffer just acted a touch too late in Mark Cohn's eyes. But who knows? I think Stouffer has been very successful in trying to find his way by cars that are ahead of him, and I think he's going to have a little bit of good draft down the straightaway here.
Just staying in the tire tracks in 3 and 4. Yeah, Yari is. Take a look at that. You said just Wagner got around him. There it is, right there.
Yep, no more fuel saving. You could tell just by, ooh, it looks like Rafi might have touched the wall with his right rear exiting 2 there. No harm, no foul. But compared to what we saw with a few laps ago with everybody kind of hugging that high side, now you can see the top 4 are fanning out. With Mark on the bottom, Stouffer kind of offset. Watch them as they go into turn 1 here. They're all going to kind of fan out in a certain way to get some clean air. I think the fuel save is over, boys.
No, hold on. Let's listen to Rafi here real quick. 3 and 4. I thought I heard him roll out of it completely in 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, that also could just be a way to find clean air.
Let's see. Oh, he was in the clutch. Clutch and coasting at the right there at the corner entrance. So he's trying to save. One more time. I don't think he's good to go. Let's hear him again. Start finish line. Corner entrance. Not so much that time.
Yeah, when you're the 4th car in line and you're just trying to find some sort of clean air and predict what everyone else is doing ahead of you, that can give you some indication to lift off the throttle a little bit. A few laps ago, we had everyone kind of fanning out through 1 and 2, whereas everybody prior to that was just kind of lifting and taking the high line. Looks like Stouffer might be getting close. Nope, it looks like they're saving a little bit more fuel.
Yeah, you hear. Yeah, Rafi is actually disengaging the engine with the clutch. It's not one of those I'm just rolling out of it type thing. You can hear power as it kind of lets down on a bit of a scale. He's actually clutching it, and you hear the power disengage.
If these guys have to save more fuel than we think they do, then this will be a very interesting last couple laps if it really comes down to the wire. But you also have to imagine that Mark has been out front now long enough where if he feels like he's in trouble, he needs to get out of the lead soon.
Well, let's pop up with your Mark. Let's listen to him. 3 and 4 down the white line, floating up here, corner exit. On the front stretch, hitting the start finish line. That's what he sounded like going on the 1. No, definitely not the clutch and coast that we heard from Rafi. He just downshifted a couple times and goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Here's Stouffer from his point of view. 135 coming to 136 now. Two gears for Stouffer. Here's Craig. Here Craig hitting up a gear there. Even though they don't have the tools available to them, they had an IR-18 still very busy in the cockpit.
Wagner and Schaus battling for P6. This hopefully will end well.
And let's get the camera back there. There they are.
I'm also keeping a close eye at the battle up front as well. But yeah, Wagner tried to move in turn 3 on the last lap, and it didn't work out, which now allows Yari to close right back up again. These guys are settled out right in the line, 1 through 8, and very difficult for anyone to really make any sort of advantage here.
Yari taking a peek. Oh, Yari. Wagner cuts down. That was very, very close.
Still stays the same out front. We have these guys that are, I don't know if they're really trying. Oh, we got Murph trying to make a move on Rafi here. Finally, these tires have got to start getting a bit more worn now, to the point where it's very difficult to really even make any dives into turn one successfully, especially with a whole line of cars on your outside there. We got about 10 laps to go.
10 to go,
Guys
yep.
across the line now.
So Robert Malechka is the career leader in wins here in the Dark Horse DW12 series with 14.
Whoa. Forsythe almost misjudged that one and got Stouffer in the rear.
Yeah,
and,
did.
Think it threw Stouffer off his game a little bit. Let's see if Craig makes a move here. Oh, and Murph very close to Rafi there.
Rick Ravon with 13 wins. Nick DeGroot with 11. Craig Forsythe with 10. Carnival. That is Eckert.
I don't know what happened there. I can't explain that one to you.
All right, we'll go back and take a look here.
Any ideas as you watch it? I'll let you try and narrate it.
Well, Murph got close and pulled out quickly. It might have damaged his.
Maybe you should watch it from Schaus's point of view.
Yeah, we can go back and watch that here too. There's contact. Yeah, there was contact right there. Murph's front wing has showed damage now, and I think there was contact there.
It seems like it was very slight contact, if anything, but the end result of the incident is what gets me a little confused. Yes, it may have broken something, but you're not doing any sort of heavy braking into that corner that would inhibit such a wiggly response there. Yeah, I'm unfortunately I can't really figure that one out.
That might though end. That's going to end Rafi Eckert's day, though, so he is going to be down to 11th. 10 cars left, as we are going to do a bit of a, just like last week, a late race sprint to the finish here. Everyone now should be good on fuel. And I was getting ready to say, if Craig gets another win, he will actually tie Nick DeGroot for all-time 4th. But let's see, how many different drivers have gotten a win here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 different drivers have gotten a win here in the Dark Horse DW12 series. So if Cohn gets the win, he'll be a first-time winner. It'll be the 16th different driver. So these guys behind him, Murph, it will be the same boat. Murph does not have any wins here. He could be the 16th different driver. But Stouffer picked up a win earlier, and of course Craig has 10 so far, looking to move up. The 4D guys now have 3 cars in the top 5. So we are 145 of 150, so we're going to go green at 147, I think is what we're going to do. Not a lot of time.
Sprint to the finish, and it's all about that first lap, trying to maximize your speed, maximize your track position. You might see some weaving out of turn 2, block a little bit of the draft, especially going on the inside of turn 3 to make sure that you have that preferred line. But all that's going to do is expose you going into turn 1 on the next lap. So just a lot to keep in mind. No big deal. Just check it off the list of how you keep the spot.
No big deal.
I've been unsuccessful in holding off people here myself, so it's not an easy thing to do.
Well, once again, if you're just joining us, this is a very late stages. We're at 145 coming to 146, probably go green at 147. This is the RaceVerse coverage of round 6 of the Dark Horse DW12 series, coming to you from Gateway, where Mark Cohn, who has been amongst the leaders all day today, has been leading for the most of this final stint, is your leader. Currently leads with 5 to go. We're going to come green with 4 to go. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so don't miss out on the next race. Next race will be Tuesday, IndyCar Oval Series at Homestead. We got the camera on Schaus because Schaus is the first of the cars that decided to come in one more time for one last set of tires for a bonsai dash to the front. Schaus, Brubacher, Wagner, Pahutsky, and Pagero and Herrick all went to, actually Herrick's stopping right now one more time. I wonder if maybe he's just trying to get out of the way. Maybe he has some damage we can't see. But he was up in the top 5 just momentarily. But right now, Schaus, Brubacher, Wagner, Pahutsky, Pagero are all those that stopped for a last set of tires to make it last dash here on the leaders. Cohn, Forsyth, Stouffer, and Murphy all are on 37-lap-old tires. This is going to be interesting. Hang on. Buckle in. This is going to be a wild next 4 laps. Lights are out on the pace car. The field will soon be under the command of Cohn, who will be bringing us to green. I suspect he will not waste any time.
I don't believe there's any green-white checkers here, so
No.
I'm going to say we're going to go green. I think we're going to go green to the end. With
How dare
great
you?
Battle right to the end.
How dare you? This is IndyCar racing. Stouffer and Forsyth side by side, and this is exact. Oh, they get contact! The two teammates make contact. They're collecting 3 cars behind them. And we're cautioned. And that might have just sealed the win for Mark Cohn.
I feel bad for opening my mouth. I'll leave it at that.
Let's try this again here. As we got back a little bit further in time we want to go, but I think we just got some cool down laps here as Cohn will take some victory time here. Right now, under caution, the field has been reset to Cohn, Schaus, Stouffer, Brubacher, Wagner, Pahutsky, Pagero, Forsyth now the 9th. I think he had to stop in pit road. Will execute the fast repair so he could just finish rolling here. If not, maybe he could continue under his own power as is. But here we see Cohn getting a good start. I don't think the 2 4D guys got as good start as they wanted. Here we go into 1 here. Stouffer pulls out. Very old worn tires at this point, but they've gone through a heat cycle, so they're going to have at least a little bit to good on them for at least 1 lap or so. He comes up and kind of what we seen in that first incident early on and that mid-race incident, that the car just kind of comes up with the right front wing hitting that left rear pod right next to the right rear tire, and that sends the car around. And also involved in that is Mark Murphy. See who else might have been involved there.
Looks like it was Forsyth and then Yari. No, Yari, I believe, avoided it all.
We're with Wagner. Whoa, Wagner came really close. Whoa. And that is it. I think that is going to be our race. Nope, looks like Forsyth is just going to roll it out. And knowing that we're not going to go green, more than likely. Mark Cohn had a kind of an emotional win when he was racing trucks here in the ASRA last Monday. He's going to be probably more than thrilled to get into the DW12 here for the first time in a while and get another win as we're on the final lap. Eric Schaus with the new tires. Really, new tires didn't buy him anything. He just got lucky and avoided all the carnage. And he's going to capitalize in the points, finishing 2nd. Stouffer survived the wreck, managed to keep the car straight when it went caution, was classified as 3rd, able to keep the car moving. This will be another good podium for him in the points battle. Yari Brubacher, same thing as last week. Yari Yari is the silent. I can't call him a silent assassin. I already have someone with a nickname, but maybe we can call Yari the Ninja because he snuck into another top 5 good points paying finish here 2 weeks in a row when we kind of weren't expecting it. And a P4 for him. Mark Murphy with a damaged front end is in 5th. That's where he will finish. Wagner avoids everything, classified in 6th, and Pahutsky again keeping everything in front of him, surviving to 7th. A good finish for him, up 5 spots. Your biggest gainer is Stouffer with 14. Eric Schaus has 12. But your winner of the day is Mark Cohn and the Tom Steva throwback. Another big win for him on RaceVerse. Congratulations, Mark Cohn.
Yeah, Mark did everything to the best of his ability there. Took advantage of the fuel safe situation, guys that were trying to go a little bit slower, and he wanted to be the leader, and I think he did it to perfection, really. Just put himself in a spot where guys weren't going to really challenge him too hard, and it really paid off for him in the end. It was a risky strategy, but here we are. He's the winner.
And we'll bring up the final standings here in just a minute as we watch Mark enjoy his fireworks and victory lap here. And while we do that, and I'll bring up some highlights, let's do the final standings, shall we? Mark Cohn, your winner, up 8 spots, led 43 laps. Schaus up 12 spots, didn't lead a single one, but got the P2. Good point stay for him. As we mentioned, Chris Stouffer led 30 laps, came up 14 spots. Another good day for him. Yari Brubacher gets the 4th spot. Mark Murphy at top 5. In 5th, Matt Wagner. Not a great day as he wanted. He lost 5 spots, led 52 laps, but finishes in the top 10. Casey Pahutsky, he sit there, guide 5 spots. Working on that 7-stop strategy right there, Casey did. But he finished in the top 10. Iker Pagera, same way, finishing 8th. Craig Forsyth, involved in that last incident, finishes 9th. Jim Herrick in 10th. Rafi Eckert in 11th. Eric Peterson 12th. Gary Lovren 13th. A.J. Hobson 14th. Brad Adams 15th. Lee Kane 16th. Charlie Teed 17th. And Edson Santos, last car in the 18-car field, finishing 18th. All right, let's see. Let's get into the interview room and see who wants to have an interview. I imagine all these guys do, but I imagine there's a bit of a frustration for all of them, or at least for, except for Cone. Everyone else was kind of in some incident. I'm curious to hear their take on it. And here we go. So first, we want to see if Stouffer's available. So we'll bring down Stouffer from the 4D Racewear channel into ours. Hey Chris, we got you here in the booth with Andrew and Gary. Not an error-free race, unfortunately. You got caught up in that kind of early incident and always seemed to be caught up, and then once you did get caught up, it turned into kind of a fuel mileage race. Talk about your race to us, and what did you have any frustrations going on other than just kind of people cooperating and not wanting to cooperate?
Well, as far as frustrations, yeah, I mean, my biggest one, of course, is right there at the end. Me and Craig, it's just close racing. I thought I had a little bit more room. He knew I was going to be coming, charging really hard there, and unfortunately, it prematurely ended the entire race. But other than that, yeah, the whole race was kind of frustrating. Just a lot of cautions, which is not typical here at Gateway. Typically we get we might have 1 or 2 early on, and then it goes green from there. So I was surprised we had as many cautions as we did. Yeah, at the end I had to save fuel in order to make it, and then I let Craig by because I needed to save just a little bit more fuel, and then that last caution came out, and then we had caution right after that into the race. So it's kind of frustrating because I knew I had a real fast car. I had a feeling if I got up front, you know, it was going to be real tough to pass, but it just didn't work out with the fuel and everything.
Yeah, Chris, can you tell everybody what it's like to kind of reset after all these cautions? You go through a race and you just kind of see another yellow, you roll your eyes. How do you kind of get yourself back in the mindset that, hey, this will be the long green flag run? What do you got to do to prepare for wherever you are on track to make sure you get a clean restart, and from there just run flat out and hope that your strategy plays out if it's all green after that?
Yeah, you know what you're saying. It you know really determined that what changes for me, I guess, is depending on what I'm actually racing. But with the IndyCar, especially at a track like this, you know, I'm more comfortable. But when we do get a lot of yellows like that consecutively, it really does get you outside of your game and your mindset, because you know, you start the race, you're looking at it 150 laps. Of course, you always plan for it to go green, and then when you get one caution, all right, get another. Like you said, eventually you just start rolling your eyes, and you know it's hard to stay focused. So you know, it's sometimes I lose focus, and that's a lot of times. You know, when I make the most mistakes is right after a yellow. And especially when we're getting them consecutively. So, you know, I don't know that there's any secret to it. I know some other guys are better than others. I certainly have a tendency to start to drift off and, you know, think about other things, and um, you know, so it's tough to be prepared, but you always have to be ready, and you're always planning that next restart's going to be the last one, and you're going to go green from there, and so you just keep that mindset going, each caution.
Shout out to sponsors, friends, family, anyone you want to say hi to before we let you go. Another podium here, so it's a good points day for you.
Yeah, good points day. You know, shout out to Dark Horse Racing, 4dracewear.com. Everybody there, make sure to go to 4dracewear.com. You know, it's a frustrating third for me. I gave myself, or I had an EOL from the previous race, with my hip check there coming to the line, and so you know I knew I had it out for me when I saw that Gateway was on the schedule, but you know it's still frustrating because I felt like I was one of the fastest cars, if not the fastest car out here tonight, and just because of strategies and everything, you know, yeah, I had to play the odds, get the odds in my favor, I guess. So you know, I'll take third place. Unfortunately, me and Craig did get together, and I do feel bad about that, but we've already been razzing each other. He's razzed me plenty already. Before I even got here, so.
Well, at least there's hopefully it's friendly razzing. I think it is, but yeah. Normally we always joke around that there's two rules to racing your teammate. Rule 1, don't wreck your teammate, and Rule 2 is see Rule 1. Exactly. Well, moving on, yeah. I'm going to Milwaukee next. Congratulations on the podium. I know you're frustrated. Try to take some happiness out of that little bit if you can, and we'll see you next week, man.
All right, thank you.
And we'll move him back up into his channel, and let's see who is available next. And Eric Schaus here. Schaus, I know, has had a frustrating day, and I'm sure he's going to have some of the same frustrations. There he is. We'll bring him down here to us. Hey, Eric, got you in the booth with Gary and Andrew. I guess you're going to kind of echo a little bit of what Chris said. Kind of a frustrating day. Hard to get a bit of a rhythm going on with all those cautions coming out, and then, of course, kind of getting caught up in other people's mistakes and having to execute your own fast repairs and whatnot more than you wanted to. Is that an accurate assessment, or maybe your day was a lot smoother than his? Or what was it?
I'd say I took a pretty relaxed approach to this race. I qualified pretty poorly. I spun it on lap 2, so I qualified in like 15th. So at that point, it was just kind of pace myself and wait for. I knew cautions were going to come, so it was take track position over pitting, which played out really well. And then once I got within the top 5, top 6, something like that, then I could race. And It was frustrating. It was hard to get around people, but if you were patient, you could find ways, or just play it on strategy. That's what I chose to do.
Yeah, Eric, it seemed tensions grew a little bit during one of those pit stops there. You were on the inside of Matt there. I think you had a little bit of a better entry than him, and tempers started to flare and everything like that. So, as a driver, how exactly do you manage that and try and put that behind you and push forward to try and get the best result possible after sort of a controversial incident like that? Was it difficult to sort of reset your brain and get yourself back into race mode, or were you kind of dwelling on a potential mistake or situation where you found yourself a little bit behind?
Yeah, like you said, it messes with your head a little bit. I mean, it was a misunderstanding of the rules on my part. I thought previous races it had been people driving through pit stalls, so I was avoiding that, but I figured it would be okay for me to jump to the left lane, especially if there are large gaps being left going into the pits. So I guess that's not allowed. Fair enough. Won't do it again. My apologies for that. And from there, you just, you accept it and you move on. I just had to get back in the same mindset of I'm here to just chill and take it easy and let the race come to me.
Well, good points day. Looks like the points have been updated. And you have yourself a 29-point lead over Wagner. So you extended it a little bit. So I would imagine that it gets you a little happy coming out of this one. It could have been a whole lot worse, all things considered. So I imagine you also have some shout-outs to people you want to say hi to, friends, family, sponsor, you name it. So go right ahead. All in all, not a bad day for you, really.
Yeah, I'll start with an apology to Matt for that incident he and I got into coming through 3. I think I came down. We were 3 wide, and I came down into him a little bit, so that was on me. So apologies for that. Otherwise, I felt like it was a pretty good race. Shout out to you guys in the booth. I'm going to go back and watch this one for sure. Thanks to the league for putting this on and the admins that do the work, and thanks to anybody out there watching.
Well, congratulations. They're a point leader going into Milwaukee. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Let's see if I can drop you into the right channel here. I'm going to just drop you down to the general, and you can head back to the channel you were at. Here you go. All right. Let's bring down Mark Cohn. Mark, how you doing, buddy? This is Gary and Andrew. Good week, or a good couple of weeks for you here on RaceVerse. So winning the Truck Series and the ISRA series that we had on Monday to finish that series out. And then a win here in Dark Horse in the DW12s. Completely different disciplines. Says a lot about your driving ability. Talk about your race.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I felt I had been really rusty with these DW12s because it had been a long time since I'd even raced them, like probably 2 years before my first Dark Horse race a couple of weeks ago. And I was just trying to get seat time, just stay with everyone. And when I saw that I had some pace, I was trying to go where I could with it, but I just didn't want to go over my head. So you can believe I'm still pretty dang shocked about this.
Yeah, Mark, congratulations on the win. It's definitely really good. And Gary and I were commenting during the race that back in our Lionheart DW12 days, you were the one sitting at the top watching the race, and now you get 2 of the drivers in that series now calling the race. So the tables were turned a little bit here. So it was very interesting to see exactly what these cars race like from the top view, especially from watching someone who used to commentate / officiate a race that we used to be a part of. So that was definitely really cool, and I think you did it to satisfaction there. So but yeah, at what point of the race, I know that was a fuel save there at the end, like where did you feel that did you ever feel like you had the opportunity to actually to push and to hold the lead, or were you worried that some guys were good on fuel behind you and you had to try and defend a little bit, or did you feel like you had the strategy played out perfectly from where you were racing there in first?
So I was in line behind Forsyth and Stouffer, and I just wasn't going to save enough to make it. So I just decided, okay, let's go. If we get a yellow, by some miracle, wonderful. If not, we tried. And by some miracle, a yellow came out. I had enough fuel, and then I just did what I could on the final restart, and it paid off. Just sometimes you're better being lucky than good, right?
That's for sure. Did you feel like you had that restart in the bag? Like when you restarted with that last 5 laps, did you think that you could hold off the guys that were behind you there? Did you feel like that you still were kind of on the cusp of fuel, or was it all set to go?
I was good on fuel, but I did feel the restart was important just to try and get past that 0.6 of a second or so mark where you could get away from the draft. And again, restart of my life right there, and it just worked out.
Yeah. We noticed that was a good restart. Well, congratulations. And I know from previous experience and looking at your car, you have lots of sponsors on there. So I know there's a lot of people you want to thank, a lot of shout outs you want to make, friends, family, sponsors, you name it, go right ahead. You earned it. Got the win here at Gateway.
Thank you for the kind words, guys. Bobby Legs Loves Watches, Wrong Time Watch, Hans Wilsdorf, Sam Maxwell Customs, Sim Lab, Nazumi Studios, Dwarves Fine Candies, Sam Maxwell Customs. I'm sure I'm forgetting a few, but thank you to everyone that supported me through this. You guys for the awesome broadcast. Dark Horse for letting me race here. Just a great, great day.
Well, there you have it, Mark Cohn, the 16th different driver now to get a victory in the Dark Horse DW12 series. Congratulations, and we will see you at Milwaukee next.
Looking forward to it.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
No problem. Let's drop him down the general there, and he can head on back to his channel. Wow. So it was a little bit of stop and go action, I think, to both of our chagrins. I think we both were expecting the longer periods of caution, and for whatever reason, whether it be people overheating the right rear or just coming into contact with people or net code, that we just really didn't get a lot of green flag racing that we thought we would see. It got a lot of stop and go action. Turned it a little bit of a fuel mileage race, but at the end, a little bit of a sprint, and then the stop and go occurred and we finished under caution. It was exciting at points, but this almost seems like a typical Gateway race anymore. Just for whatever reason, this is a difficult track.
Yeah, it got two sides of the circuit, each that has their own technical bit to it. You can set your car up in a certain way to make it happen on one side of the track, but you might struggle on the other. So good on these guys for keeping everything pointed straight. I mean, looking up and down the order, it doesn't seem like you could find a car that wasn't involved in something tonight. So to persevere and get the finish that these guys got is actually it's pretty fun.
Well, that will do it for tonight. I've had, over the last 2 weeks, like 6 broadcasts from Gateway, so I'm tired of this place. So I'm ready to move on. And next week, the series will move on to Milwaukee. Be sure to join us. Well, that will do it for tonight. Once again, your podium from Gateway: Chris Stouffer third. Eric Schaus, our points leader, extends his points just a little bit now. He's in P2 tonight. And Mark Cohn, with his first career win in the Dark Horse Series, is your winner. Join Andrew and myself again next week for round 7 of the Dark Horse DW12 Series. The teams and drivers head to the historic Milwaukee Mile. Little known fact, there have been more IndyCar races held at Milwaukee than there ever have been at Indianapolis. We'll talk about that later. Coverage this season begins around 8 p.m. Eastern. Again, that's 8 p.m. Eastern. As always, you can find everything you need here, right here at YouTube, at youtube.com/RaceVerse. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support RaceVerse with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below and let us know what you thought of tonight's race. And everybody in chat, we appreciate you participating and leaving a comment. And if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing the like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe while you had to hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out more of RaceVerse other iRacing programming, including our next broadcast, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, the IndyCar Oval Series official iRacing race. That will be at Homestead. Again, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday. Keep your browser set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge of all of iRacing. RaceVerse, we know what Indy means. Dark Horse DW12 Series is brought to you by 4D Racewear. Check out their made for sim racing line of gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the description. For business inquiries and learn more about RaceVerse, what we do, you, visit us on Twitter. Visit us at RaceVerse.com, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter. So for Andrew Wood, the Catalyst, everyone here at RaceVerse, I'm Gary Gotzo saying to all, happy Sunday. Thanks for watching. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again next week right here in Milwaukee for the next race of the Dark Horse DW12 Series. Good night.